I believe in powerful versus forceful relationships. So when we're designing the ShopX ecosystem, we took into account every single participant, and we had to make sure that everyone wins. Because if you're in a relationship where it's so powerful is where everyone wins. Like this podcast is powerful because we're both here, we're chill dudes, we're here to help each other out. If it weren't powerful, neither of us would do it. And a forceful relationship is where one party wins, one party loses. And that's not sustainable because eventually someone's like, nah, I'm not winning, I'm out. So for a company to win, it has to be powerful.
So AI matchmaking service. Obviously, AI is all the rage and the buzz right now, but there's a lot of dating sites. How is this version of a dating site going to be different than what's already there and is going to incorporate AI later?
Eric McHugh is a 30-year-old entrepreneur whose philosophy emphasizes the importance of simplicity, adaptability, and a clear mind. These values Eric embodies have helped him revolutionize the world of Web3 entrepreneurship. Eric specializes in leveraging strategic thinking and adaptability to create innovative and effective solutions to challenges facing this cutting-edge industry. As a staunch individualist, Eric is a vocal advocate for the decentralization of power and control, promoting the democratization of access and opportunity in the digital world. Eric is the president of ShopX and co-founder of Dating, an AI-powered matchmaking service. This episode gets into Web3, AI, and the future of entrepreneurship. So sit back and enjoy the show.
Before we jump into the episode, do you ever get so wrapped up in your business you forget it's time to get someone special a gift? Not the same boring flowers or cookie cutter bauble. No, you want something unique, one of a kind. Guys, I got you. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code if you're watching on TV and go to the Glass Arts Collective. They have dozens of handmade, one-of-a-kind items in lots of categories. You'll find animals, jewelry, holiday gifts, and lots more. All a one-of-one and ready to ship anywhere in the US. Head over there to find that special gift for your special someone, and thank you, Glass Arts Collective, for sponsoring GYET. And welcome back to the show, everyone. My name is Brian Elam. I'll be your host here on Get Your Entrepreneurship Together. Eric, I am excited for this conversation. Thank you so much for coming on.
Hey, Brian, thank you so much for having me. I'm really grateful, and I can tell based on our chat prior to this, I think we'll have fun with this one.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a good time for sure.
Yeah.
So I always like to lay the foundation for the listeners so they understand who you are, where you came from, and then we can kind of build the value and the stories from that place. So if you can, tell us a little bit about your background. Where are you from, and what was your childhood like?
Sure, it's nice to meet everyone. My name is Eric. I'm 31 years old, blessed to be living in a town near Los Angeles called Palos Verdes. My childhood was relatively cool. I mean, it's a nice area, lots of sun, lots of outdoors, lots of hiking. I was a really curious kid, just really into bugs and just learning a bunch of stuff. So I think that translated well into entrepreneurship. My main hobbies right now are chess, Muay Thai, reading, anything under the sun, and meditation. I just got back maybe not just got back anymore, but I recently attended a 10-day Vipassana meditation retreat in Joshua Tree, California. And that was one of the most beautiful, transformative experiences that I've ever done. So if that interests you, I would recommend you check it out. I went to school at the University of California, Irvine, interned in Washington, D.C. as a government affairs consultant, and in Barcelona as a project manager, which is pretty funny just to those are like two polar opposite cultures. Like DC, it's like you show up, it's like the swamp. Well, at the time I wasn't like at the time I wasn't privy to like the corruption politics. So I'm like, oh, this is cool, an internship. But like, yeah, it's like you full suit and tie, subway in the morning when it's very humid, show up at 8:00. You're like the last one there. But in Barcelona, you show up at like 10:30. I'm like, where is everyone? And it's like, oh, they're just late. I'm like, oh, that's nice. My first job out of college was at Snap Inc., helping craft their ad algorithm. And so the main reason I chose that was two particular reasons. The first was its location. So Snap is actually pretty sweet. Do you know what Venice Beach is, or have you heard of Venice Beach?
I've heard of Venice Beach. I've never been there.
Dude, if you're in Cali, check it out. But their location was they bought a bunch of different properties on the Venice Beach boardwalk. So it wasn't one big building. It was a bunch of different like warehouses and houses. So you got to walk around to different locations, work with different people, which I thought was cool. And the second reason I chose that position was right before their IPO. So I wanted to see what it was like going through a company with that energy. After that, I got a job as a bankruptcy consultant just because it paid well. And I'm like, oh, lawyer, doctor, consultant. That seems like the set path. Let's run with this one. And at that point, I started really getting into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, which kind of red pilled me to the entrepreneurship lifestyle. So being really into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and being against rent-seeking behavior, working at a bankruptcy consulting firm, those values honestly didn't align at all. Like, because think about like in bankruptcy consultant, like you're a Fortune 500 company, you're going through the bankruptcy process. Lawyers, consultants on both sides are just working together, completely billing out the company, which owes money. So there's tiers of credit. So tier one, tier two, tier three, tier four. Obviously, the mom and pops, me and you, we get paid last. So a lot of times people get paid pennies on the dollar, which being a Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, that didn't fly. So I waited till my bonus, quit that job, started going to cryptocurrency meetups, met the original ShopX team. We were building that out for a while. And one time we were ideating a problem on the whiteboard, like just like brainstorming and that type of thing. And this actually spun off to be a secondary company called Paul and Lear CartRev, which solved affiliate codes. That ended up getting VC funded in one of the best incubators in the world, actually. So at a young age, I was exposed to small startup teams at different levels in different fields. So I got to be around a bunch of different people. I got lunch with a bunch of different CEOs, CTOs, CMOs in different fields. And I absorbed a ton of information, which honestly really just skyrocketed my career. And a while back, I was on a crypto podcast tour representing ShopX. I went on this one called The Crypto Economy. It's run by this dude named Mark. Honestly, just like me and you, we vibe pretty well on the podcast. We kept in touch via social media after the fact. And then this weird AI thing started following me. Like, what is this? I'm thinking about starting this AI-powered matchmaking server. I'm like, first of all, that's funny. There's market need and it can help people. So I've been building that ever since. So I'm working on two projects simultaneously.
Wow. What a journey. What a journey. So in your time going from the bankruptcy consultations into, cryptocurrency and getting it and moving into entrepreneurship and startups, what did you see within yourself that started to shift and change?
Honestly, it was just this was the beginning of a shift too. So like an overall negative mindset on the world is like, blah blah, everyone's out to get you. Let me try to take as much as I can because like for the bankruptcy, like all consultancy firms, it's like I'm billing out hours, so I'm trying to bill out as many hours as I can for the company, which results in more pay for me. So that's a really just take mindset. So you're extracting value versus creating value. But then as an entrepreneur, like I learned that the best way to be successful as an entrepreneur is to create a lot of value for a lot of people, and that has much better karmic retributions anyway. So it's a win-win. So it's a mindset from take to give.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
And yeah, we can definitely talk about how entrepreneurship can better the world. But before we get down that rabbit trail, is going into the AI matchmaking service, is that your first actual venture into entrepreneurship of starting, your own company?
So I would say the Carvev affiliate codes was my first official one, and that kind of fizzled out. But it's the first one where it's like fully ground floor, 0 to 1 moment. So, which is honestly, dude, it's really fun. Like building something, like because right now we're in our waitlist phase. So I think we're on like 600-700 waitlist, but like getting that first user to sign up, connect their social media, get a profile. That's honestly an awesome feeling. It's like, oh, you create something and someone's using it. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. It's really a validating moment to know that everything that you put your time in, somebody's responding to it. And it's that whole thing is that you don't have to have the whole world be your customer. Only a fraction of a fraction can make a very good living and also make an impact for the world. So the fact that it starts with one, I mean, that's just, we all have to start from there, and it's awesome.
And then, yeah, dude, it is awesome.
Very cool. Very cool. So before we get too far into this, I want to help people understand kind of where the technology with entrepreneurship is heading. Is one of the things that I read, from what you sent over to me, was basically how important Web3 is. Now, I'm not a tech guy, even though I enjoy, videography, photography, production, obviously, with what I'm doing. But when I turn the internet on, that's just the internet to me. Like, so tell us, what is the value of Web3 and why does it need to be adopted if you're going to be successful in entrepreneurship going forward?
Yeah, so in terms of Web3, like you said, when you turn on the internet's just the internet. You don't need to know the background. For Web3 to be successful, that's what it has to be. You just have to turn on a computer, you do Web3 things, no one knows any better. I think in terms of Web3 right now, it's incredibly valuable because if you look at Web 1 versus Web 2 versus Web 3, honestly, dude, just like everything else, they're just made up words. It's natural projection of a technology class. But in Web 1, you can read only. So just think of like going online, you can read stuff, which is fantastic. Web 2, let's frame it as social media. So like Instagram and Facebook, you can read content and you can write content, but you don't own the content. So right now we're writing content and then your listeners can read the content, which is great. But if you post on like Instagram or YouTube and one of us says something that's not okay, they own the content, so they can take it down. In Web3, you can read content, you can write content, and you can also own content. So like, let's say, for example, one of my friends, he runs a very successful Twitch stream channel. His name is Nick. He said something that was controversial, although it's not controversial at all. I was literally just saying leave the kids alone. And what happened is Twitch didn't like that. They canceled his channel, and then he lost his source of income. So in Web3, that wouldn't be the case. Or even more importantly, I think of money. Like money to me is energy. Energy is content. So it's all really the same. Like if you say something that's not okay, like if you speak out, like Canadian truckers, whichever side of the fence you land on with that, the fact that they spoke out against the government, they had their bank accounts canceled. I don't think that's okay. So in
No.
Web3, no, God, yeah, that's terrible precedent. But yeah, so in Web3, it's like if you own the cryptocurrency, you own the Bitcoin, you own the NFT, only you have power to send, you have the control over it. So it's like gold. And from an incentive structure, I think it's incredibly important. And this is, I know we're going to line on this because think about it this way. Like, let's say I want to become really rich right now without doing any work. What's the best way for me to do this? I just have to place myself right next to the money printer, aka the Federal Reserve, and then I siphon off as much money as I can for myself, which is effectively stealing money from you, it's stealing money from me, it's stealing money from everyone, which is no bueno. And because I'm next to the money printer, next to the Federal Reserve, I'm now a corrupt politician. I'll defeat all the politicians who don't have access to unlimited money, and this creates a systemic corruption from the top. So now I get three of my friends in, and we have the situation we have now where the incentive is value extraction versus value creation. But
Mm.
in a Bitcoin world, it's completely flipped on its head. So like, let's say, for example, first off, if you have any Bitcoin, I would love your Bitcoin, but I can't take your Bitcoin. I can't inflate your Bitcoin away. The only way for me to get your Bitcoin is for me to produce something of value, and then you send me your Bitcoin. So it's a voluntary transaction. So now if I want to become as rich as possible, the way to do that is to create a lot of value for a lot of people at scale. And that's the way I can become rich. And the only way I can do this is through the power of authenticity, because I'm the number one me in the world. If you try to be me, you can't beat me at being me. But if I try to be you, I can't beat you at being you. So logically, if I'm trying to serve as many people as possible, the only way for me to do that is to follow my natural gifts and natural intellectual curiosity. And in my case, that just resulted in Web3 and AI. But for everyone else, it's different. So now I'm trying to add value instead of take value. And now if we flip that incentives, like put that like 7 generations on the line, if everyone's just trying to create as much value as possible for everyone else, I think society is going to proceed in a very positive way going forward because of that incentive. And AI is another technology that you can leverage your natural skills. So it's just another way for me to do something. Like I could be born in the Philippines, like 50 years ago. If I were born in the Philippine slums, there's nothing I can do. It's just it is what it is. But now, like let's say I'm born in the Philippine slums with AI. Let's say my passion is e-commerce. I can use AI to write copy. I can use AI to create a website. I can use AI to create graphics. So now I can try to serve. My incentive is now to serve people versus extract value. AI will help me do that in a quicker way. And so,
Yeah, 100%. One of the things that I do is I create clips out of all the episodes that I produce. And those clips, they're like reels and shorts and things like that. And I use AI to do that and just punch in the URL, hit go, and it's like, here's your clips in order of what we think will have the most virality to them. I'm like, perfect. I love that because it allows you, like you said, to leverage that in order to do more things at scale. Now, you said something very interesting about the Web3 and ownership. And I want to make sure that I understand this. So we know that if we say things on Facebook that Facebook doesn't like, that we get put in Facebook jail or our account gets taken away completely, right? So going forward on Web3, if we're able to own our content, like you're saying, um, are we able to own our content on those social media platforms?
So in this particular case, if you own the content on Facebook and Facebook then puts you in jail, there's nothing you can really do about it. You still own the NFT, you still own the cryptocurrencies, you still own the picture, so they can't take that away from you. But then the UI is not there. But if there's a Web3 based version of Facebook, there's not much they can do in that case. And that's something important I do want to touch on Facebook jail is a lot of, and this is, I think, could be a problem in the future. Sorry, this is a little bit tangent, but like a lot of the Facebook jail, because you know how censorship can be a problem. A lot of the censorship in the future is probably going to be AI based. So it's not going to be people just scanning the internet. It's going to be people, AI just scanning it for certain keywords, certain phrases.
Right.
So if the people programming the I guess, internet police at the time don't have good intentions, that's going to result in a lot of problems for a lot of people, which is why having your own source of content is so important. Because I had a friend who actually, she runs a Facebook store. And so what she did, she's like, obviously she's a normal person. She posted a picture with her and her kid, and they were swimming. The kid was shirtless. It's a guy, who cares? But then Facebook flagged that as illicit material, and they took down her account, took down Facebook jail, and then she wasn't making money. And then it took a while to get back, because you know how troublesome dealing with Facebook jail is. It's the worst.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that's okay. So we're able to, even if we do put that content on Facebook or another social media platform, on Web3, we can still own it, so to speak. Like that particular NFT, what have you, is not going to go away, obviously, but they can still take the post down. But that to me just means it's of the utmost importance if you are an entrepreneur to, number one, have your own platform, i.e., website or whatever that looks like for you, and then to also own your own list. You know, an email list is still going to be important in this Web3 environment. Would you agree with that?
Oh, 100%. And I think that's one of the best things you can do as an entrepreneur. Like, let's say you're getting, we're using social media example. Like, let's say your social media account's going big, like on Instagram, on Facebook. I think one of the first and best things you can do is start moving people from that centralized platform to your own platform. And what NFTs and cryptocurrency do is they create a relationship between a creator and a consumer in whatever form that may take, that it takes. Like, for example, I could be a musician. I create an NFT collection of 500. Now I know 500 of my super fans. I can send value their way. They can send value my way. I'm an e-commerce store. I have 500 NFTs. Let's say you own one of my e-commerce NFTs. I can send you discounts, exclusive product, in real life events. That's cool. And then you keep purchasing my products. So that's cool for me. And the cool thing is, let's say I'm on Amazon. Amazon gets ticked off at me. They get ticked off at you. They can't take away that NFT because it's your NFT. Even if it's my brand and you're the customer, I'm like, this guy, he's causing me trouble. I can't take away the NFT because it's your NFT. So you still get the benefits from that.
Right, right. And speaking of the NFTs and the brand customer relationship, again, from what I was reading, from what you sent me, there is something about, and you'll be able to explain this better than I can, a way to essentially authenticate an item. Let's say from Louis Vuitton, authenticate that item with an NFT and be able to provide a real world value around the combination of the physical object and the digital object. Can you go into that a little bit?
Oh yeah, dude, that's pretty sweet. So what we're talking about is RWA tokenization. So real world asset tokenization. So just think of it as just creating a barcode or creating a physical and digital link between a specific product. So in our case, it's a Louis Vuitton. So let's say, and the way we're doing it was NFC chip technology. So you take out your phone, you scan the product, that creates a digital copy. So that's one way to do it. But if a brand wants to do that at the beginning of the supply chain without the scanning, they can do that as well. But there's a lot of benefits for this. First off, it creates a long-term plan to create a global marketplace for products, so everyone can sell anyone's products. So once it is an NFT, Nike can sell that Louis Vuitton bag on their site. Louis Vuitton, and let's say you go on Nike site, you're buying shoes, like, oh, I want this LV bag. Great, you buy both. You get the products, you're happy. Louis Vuitton gets a sale, they're happy. Nike gets commission, they're happy. So it creates more liquidity with products, so not everyone's completely reliant on Amazon. And you as the customer, like let's say for example, you buy that LV bag, it's like, well, I want to make sure it's legit. I don't want to buy a fake Louis Vuitton bag.
Right.
You simply just take your phone, you scan, like, okay, this sold once, twice, 3 times for this amount of money. So you get more insights as a customer, which is good. And on top of that, the brand can see how many times it's sold for how much. So it's more data for the brand. If the metaverse ever becomes a thing, this is more, and this is a perfect physical link to that. Like imagine like I buy Nike sunglasses in real life. My metaverse avatar gets those glasses. I now have those glasses. They grant me access to the Nike Lounge in the metaverse, which is cool. Or I purchase the glasses in the metaverse. Because of that one-on-one link, my wallet now owns a digital copy of the physical product. I go to the Nike store. It just unlocks via checkout. I'm the only one who has access to it. I claim my product. It's a win-win. So we're still in the beginning stages of this. So right now we're tokenizing a bunch of luxury items just because honestly it's like hypeware, people like it. And we're creating our own marketplace. So if you wanted to purchase a bunch of different luxury items like Formula One events, supercars, Rolexes, Petites, all of that, we're creating a global place to do that. But long term, like one brand doing it doesn't really do anything. 2 brands doing it doesn't really do anything. But the more brands we get on board, the more value it becomes because it's an exponential power curve.
And what is the barrier to entry for that? Like, let's say you had a clothing store out there, right? They make all of their own stuff in the U.S. and they have, let's say, 5 locations throughout, the country and in just a regional area, right? And they want to get in on this authentication and adding value through that physical digital link. Is that something that a company of that size can do, or is it still too new that only like the Louis Vuittons and the Nikes and people like that can get in?
So in the future, everyone will be able to do that. The biggest barrier to entry for the customers doing it right now is like, not everyone really knows what Web3 is. So like you said, like once Web3 is good in the background, everything's doing their thing. It's like you log in, Web3 is just part of the ecosystem. Then they're like, okay, who cares? But right now, I would say there's 2 ways to do it. The first is if you want to tokenize a product that's been already manufactured, you have to attach a NFC chip to that. Then there are multiple ways to do that. So for example, you can just attach a chip, or you can sew it into the fabric. So that part isn't scalable at this moment because you have to do it on an individual product basis, which is why it's more important to do it, or like it's more valuable for the brand to do it for like the larger products, like attaching a chip or anything to like a supercars and having someone sell that online is more valuable than like a $10 shirt. Mm-hmm. But long term, if you can build that into the supply chain, you got an NFC chip to anything, then that becomes more viable. But again, like that takes time. And the NFC chip technology is honestly, dude, it's really small, like chips. It's like you don't even see it. You can insert it into a watch, you just build it in, and then it's there, and then you have a digital equivalent.
Right. And we have those NFC chips in all of our credit cards now, and they're just so wafer thin, but they work. So yeah, it wouldn't be obtrusive. The thing that comes to mind for me that's a little bit concerning, if we get to the point where it's really getting adopted, is there privacy issues that go along with that when everybody's clothing and bags are giving off these little waves of contact points? That's what kind of concerns me. What are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, so regarding the privacy issue, this goes back to the main, because I'm an original Bitcoiner, and this goes back to so originally I was a privacy-based Bitcoiner, meaning like, I care about my privacy, I don't want anyone to know anyone's bank account. But where that comes in, I don't know how to word it. It's private, but it's not private in the sense you can see all the transactions. So you can see my wallet address. You'll be like, okay, this is a wallet address. They own this amount of Bitcoin, which will be a problem, but you don't know whose wallet address is. So it's pseudo anonymous. So that would be the same with the e-commerce product. So you'll see a bunch of wallet addresses, you'll see a bunch of products connected to it, but you don't know what product it is. You don't know whose wallet address it is. So there's a bunch of, it's not very clear in the sense of that. And there are ways, like, for example, like I could send my Bitcoin to an exchange, and then that exchange has it, then they send me back my Bitcoin. It's like, okay, well, now they have no idea whose wallet it is. So if there are people holding the products for customers, then that helps solve that as well.
Mm. And essentially, it creates like I know this is the buzzword, is decentralized or decentralization uh, of e-commerce. Essentially, like you said, you would lessen your reliance on Amazon to find a product. And in my mind, having that kind of access and being able to have companies cross sell each other's products, that just means more competition, which means essentially it would be better
Yep.
for the consumer, right?
Yes, sir. It increases the liquidity of products. So right now, selling e-commerce products pretty illiquid. Like, if you want to sell a product, how to do it? It's like Amazon, eBay. But if everyone's selling everyone's products, the prices naturally go down because there's more competition, there's more buyers. That's a win-win.
Right, right. So let's talk about ShopX a little bit, because I full disclosure, I did not have enough time to look into deeply like what it does. So give us an idea. What is ShopX? What's their value prop, and how does it work into this whole conversation?
Yeah, so ShopX, it's the parent company. So just think of a Google or Apple Web3. Long term, we're a suite of products for a brand to download an app and enter the Web3 space. The RWA tokenization is one app of that. So you can download the MergeX app. You can start tokenizing stuff within your Shopify account. So that's one product. The other product is ReserveX. You can download ShopX. So we work within Shopify and WooCommerce. So for your listeners, if you're trying to sell stuff online, there are four major e-commerce platforms: Shopify, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, and Salesforce Commerce. And just like with your iPhone, if you have an e-commerce store, there are a bunch of apps you can buy. You just download the app and then you can start using the app. ShopX is one of those apps within the ecosystem. So we're like a Web 2.5 company, so we meet brands where they are. So the MergeX, that's one product. It's tokenizing products. Others creating NFTs with e-commerce value for customers. So like, you're an e-commerce brand, you can launch an NFT collection, and you can attach like discounts, specific product and real life events to those NFTs for your customers to buy. So this creates increased customer loyalty because of that ownership. And the other product we have is something called SquadX. So that's the first ever blockchain based ambassador program. So whenever ShopX makes money, we get our revenue. We split a portion of our revenue with our SquadX members for helping our community, for helping the ecosystem grow. So it creates kind of an upward spiral. So like every time ShopX sells an NFT, ShopX makes money. Half of that goes to the community. Now the community is making Ethereum. They're happy. This results in them going on brands' pages, like, hey, use ShopX, use ShopX. And in the past, I've just taken the tweet that people have created organically, went on LinkedIn, like, hey, we can solve this problem for you. This customer is actually wanting to use it, and it creates more money, which more posts, creates a nice little upward spiral. So the logic behind that is, I believe in powerful versus forceful relationships. So when we're designing the ShopX ecosystem, we took into account every single participant, and we had to make sure that everyone wins. Because if you're in a relationship where it's so powerful is where everyone wins. So like, this podcast is powerful because we're both here, we're chill dudes. We're here to help each other out. If it weren't powerful, neither of us would do it. And a forceful relationship is where one party wins, one party loses. And that's not sustainable because eventually someone's like, nah, I'm not winning, I'm out. So for a company to win, it has to be powerful.
Yeah, I totally resonate with that. The way that I verbalize it is, you have transactional relationships versus prosperous relationships. Yeah, yeah. So
That's good.
I totally.
That's good verbiage. Prosperous is good way to do it. And honestly, dude, those relationships are much more fun, and like, it's much easier too. Because like, I've noticed whenever I go to like a networking event or whatever, like, you can tell the people are just like, let's see what I can get out of this person. And then you're just like, ugh, the ick. But like, when you meet someone, like, for example, me and you, it's like, after this podcast, you're welcome to hit me up anytime if I can do anything to help you. And I'm sure the feeling's mutual. And that's how actual business relationships are formed, because it's like kind of friendship, but it's kind of beneficial. It's a win-win versus like, let's see what I can get out of this guy. Because that's just nah, that doesn't work.
Right. No, you're 100% right, and I know exactly what you're talking about with the
Yeah,
networking events. You can feel it when they come up
yeah.
to you, and it's also those people that just are out there. It's like they have one of those $100 guns, but it's business cards, like.
Oh god. Or it's like they walk in, they're like, oh, my name is blah blah blah. I graduated here. I've done this X Y Z. You're just like cringe. But I think it's now the thing is, to get more spiritual and woo, like I think of everything in terms of energy, frequency, vibration. So whenever you're at a different emotional state, you're at a different frequency. So it goes from 1 to 1,000. So let's say you're angry, just like a radio station. You turn to that radio station, you get that station. So if you're angry, you're vibrating at a certain frequency. That's
Mhm.
why you're always going to attract angry people. But if you're loving, you always attract loving people. So if you go into a network event saying, I want to help people, that's the frequency you're emitting. You're going to naturally attract the people who also want to help you, and that's all. It's a win-win because you're like, oh, how can I help you? And you're like, no, how can I help you? And you're just like, oh, now we're in a help off, and then that's yeah. You're just like, all right. But then you get the number, then you sometimes chill after the fact, and this is exactly how I got involved with the dating company too. It's like, yeah, we're trying to help each other after the podcast. We started sharing reels, we got along, and then here we are.
Yep. Yep. And again, that's why I love doing this show. You get to meet, so many cool people doing great things. And yeah, you don't go into it with any kind of expectation of, like you said, like, what can I get out of this person? It's more like, I'm enjoying the conversation, and if something else comes of it, then I accept that. That's the other part of it. You have to be willing to accept the help or the offer, which is something that, me as a person, I've struggled with in the past. Thankfully, I'm doing a lot better with that, but it's definitely a thing, especially for, entrepreneurs that are at the head of the company, or it's their baby. They have a more difficult time asking for help. Would you agree with that?
I'm really glad you brought that up, just because accepting is love. Like, and to go back to the spiritual thing is like, it's a lot easier to love than accept love. The same thing for entrepreneurs. It's a lot easier to accept, or it's a lot harder to accept help than it is to give help. And then that results in you being too controlling, not in the flow, and then things don't work out as optimally as they planned. And I found in my journey, it's like there's people you bring them on board because they're better than you. They're better than you at doing their thing. So why would you get in their way? It makes no sense.
Yeah, and I'm really glad you said that, because it needs to be reiterated. I've talked to probably 3 people within the last week that have said some version of what you just relayed. So if you had any doubt that that is true, guys, just realize, you know, Eric has said it. 3 of my previous guests have said it. It's a real thing. And if you need to hear it again, rewind this about 60 seconds, okay? So you mentioned the dating company. I want to get into that because it's interesting, and I really want to dig into the value prop. So AI matchmaking service. Obviously, AI is all the rage and the buzz right now, but there's a lot of dating sites. And I've also noticed that a lot of regular sites are incorporating AI into what they do. My question is, how is this version of a dating site going to be different than what's already there and is going to incorporate AI later?
Yeah, so let me start off broadly and then I can narrow it down. So what separates dating, I think, is the intention of the company. Like our intention is actually to help people, and I think that reflects in the values of the company. But right now with the present dating sites, yes, there are a lot, but it's a little known secret that Match.com owns most of the dating sites. So there really aren't too many dating sites. So the three main problems, and yeah, like if there's a monopoly type thing, there's very little room for innovation. So that's why they're so laggy.
Wow.
But the three main problems with dating sites right now, and there's countless ones, just because if you ask people if they're happy on Tinder, most people say no.
Right.
The big issues are it's the top 5% of users are getting access to everyone on the app, which creates a skewed marketplace. The second issue, it's hot or not. It's like you swipe left, do you think they're good looking, do you think they're bad looking? That's not the best way to create a authentic connection. And the third and most interesting issue to me is the incentive structure behind the app. So, for example, if you match on Tinder, what happens? Hopefully you delete the app, and this results in Tinder shareholders or Match shareholders or Goldman Sachs shareholders losing money. So their incentive is to rely on churn marketing, so they keep people on the Ferris wheel because that's how they make their money. So if you ever hear someone say, "I delete the app, download the app, delete the app, download the app," that's all by design. So what separates dating is, so what we do is we auto generate dating profiles for you based on your digital footprint, and then create matches based on their digital footprint. And the cool thing is, the longer you're on the app, the smarter the app gets. So like you can get 3 matches, like no, 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 because we're speeding you people who are similar to you. Let me try someone who's different. You like that person, and then the algorithm tweaks and it starts feeding you people like that. So the longer you're on the app, the more likely you are to succeed. So it works because AI is really good at pattern recognition and cluster analysis at scale. So the longer you're on the app, the smarter it gets with you. The more people on the app, the smarter it gets with everyone else. So it's like a win-win that way. And let's say you do go on that match. Like, so for example, I link all my sources. Like, okay, I see 3 matches. Ashley, Kimberly, Jane. It's like, okay, Jane seems cool. Tell me more about Jane. She connected her to LinkedIn. You both have similar career interests. Great. She connected her Facebook. She's the youngest. You're the eldest. Our pattern recognition says this works out well. Great. Oh, she connected her to Instagram. You both go to tons of national parks. Great. Oh, she connected her to Spotify. Oh, you both follow one of random artists. They have a concert coming up. Would you like me to suggest a date with Jane? The date gets suggested. She can see my profile. She can see my digital footprint. She can see a bio based on me. She can see a little story too, like of like how you guys meet if she wants to mess around with that. We go on that date. Let's say we fall in love and we get married. At that point, the app can work as a relationship butler. Like, okay, well, Eric and Jane, you guys haven't been on a date in 3 months. The place you had the second date has half off ice cream. Would you like me to book her? It's like, oh, your kids, this babysitting service works for your kids, and the concert's coming up again. Would you like to go on this date? It's like, oh, her birthday's coming up. She just added something to her Pinterest board. This might be a good gift. So like,
Now
it's just
that's worth everything right there.
that one's sweet, right? Where it's like, yeah. And of course, like there's gonna be troubles and challenges growing up, but that's something we'll solve as a company. And long term, and the reason I like this so much is I think that human happiness is really dependent on relationships. Like it's hard to be happy. Like you can't be happy if you're not cool being alone, but it's also hard to be happy if you're just completely alone. I think dating apps and social media push that needle in a different direction. So like dating is just an easy marketplace, but long term it can help build communities. So like find me 5 guys in my local area who are into Muay Thai or into meditation, who like tacos. I'm like, oh, here's 5 dudes that we can hang out with. Or it's like, let's say we meet in person for the first time, we tap our phones in a non-gay way. It's like, oh, you guys see, yeah, no homo. It's like, here's what you guys could do as a hangout. Or like my cousin, she just started UC Santa Barbara. It could have helped her find like a perfect roommate, that type of thing. Or like a company outing. It's like, I don't know who, because I went on this one podcast. It's like called Future of Teamwork. It's like, oh, could I theoretically use it to help plan company outings? Like, well, yeah, you can. I didn't think about it, but you could, because it could find the best thing for everyone in the group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really interesting. And it perfectly explains, well, the value prop. And it also aligns obviously with what you do and who you are, because it's all about building that value versus, like we were talking about before, being more transactional.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm really excited to be able to have you on here to talk about this, because yeah, this is not what the dating apps are doing to us right now. It's more just hookup culture, and I'm sure we've all got friends that have gone through it, and they just don't seem happy when they're constantly going on Tinder dates.
No, I don't know anyone's app out there. It's, and I think it's I think it's intentionally promoting misery. Like imagine you from like a guy perspective, it's like you're getting no matches, no matches, no matches for God knows how long. That's hitting her self-esteem. And then from the girl perspective, like let's be real, like a girl, like I've attractive girlfriends and like I've been on their dating app. It's like thousands of messages. Like that's not good for the ego. That's not natural. So it creates that whole skewed marketplace. And I have a conspiracy theory that again, this isn't factual, but like it's just something I've noticed, because I would mess around with the apps just to, obviously, if you're building a dating app, you go on other apps to see their features. But so I personally think it could be a funnel of just misery going down. So like I would start off with down like the main app, like let's say Tinder or whatever, like Tinder. I input my profile and I input my like who I'm looking for. And then after a while, I started seeing ads on Instagram, like specifically for dating apps. So like Filipino and Asian dating apps started to come up from that. So I think they have a funnel like, okay, this person's looking for these type of people. And then they start feeding me apps for those specific types of people. I sign up because I'm like, oh, if I'm looking for a Filipino app, like an app full of Filipinos seems pretty sweet to me. I join, I get no matches because I think it's a ghost town. So I think they would hit like I think they could be taking my data and creating profiles for me, putting me on those apps. So now you're not talking to anyone. You're like, well, these are all the right people, but I want to. So like these are the right people, but I want to match with them, but I'm not getting matches. I start to pay money, and then you get sent down more obscure apps. So after the Filipino app, I start getting like lifting apps or like Ukraine bride apps, and I think it goes down to more and more degeneracy. And I think the end of it is actually like the OnlyFans type thing.
Wow. Wow.
Which again, not proven, but like it was weird. It's like why? Because if like your own company, you're trying to make money, like it makes sense to make it a funnel, but it's like a funnel that's profiting on just like bleh. And the thing about this is like, imagine me being on the dating apps for like 5 years, and that's my only way to meet women. Like, how much time and effort am I spending wasting on apps? A lot of times I'm talking to bots. A lot of times I'm talking to people with no interest, and like that's an opportunity cost for me spending time with the right person, which isn't good either. And like, and to clarify my stance is, the reason I think the dating app will be successful is I think based on the way the generation is going, more and more people are meeting online. And the reason more and more people are meeting online is because they're scared of rejection. That's like the main thing. And swiping on an app is a much easier way than going and approaching a chick. But like, I've had the best luck in person, just approaching people I find attractive or finding funny. Like, that's always worked for me. But this is just another way to meet people if you're not up to that.
Yeah, and it creates that interest right off the bat, right? Because they're suggesting people that have similar interests or maybe similar backgrounds. So you have actually something in common that you could talk about versus, we've all been on those dates where we're sitting across from this person going, shoot me in the face. We have nothing to talk about. Oh my God.
Yeah. And the cool thing is, like, the way I word the app is like, it puts you in the position to succeed. You still have to go on the date. The whole point of the app is to go on the date, and the back end is there. So like, for example, like in our example, like it matched us because of like the Spotify band. It matched us specifically because of that. But let's say it didn't match us because of that. That's still there. So that could come up organically in conversation. And then with something we want to build out is to portray the guy. Because let's be real, like, guys aren't the best at portraying their positive values. The guys just at scale aren't good at it. But like, you can find the things that the guys are good at and help spin in a positive light. It's like, yeah, this guy is one of the top Lego set builders in the world. He's won multiple competitions. This is why this is so great. And chicks just love a good story, so it can help spin that into a story. Be like, yeah, did you know people who build Millennium Falcon Legos make really good fathers for whatever reason, and they can help spin that. So
that'd be a pretty big spin to help that guy get laid. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Or we could find the girl who's just randomly into Lego Star Wars and they can match. So that could be that.
They say there's somebody out there for everybody, so you never know.
Yeah, but that would be a big spin. I don't know. I love anime, so I'm fully aware of like the weeb culture. But
it's yeah, anime is a strange thing. There's a lot of people that are into it, and it's almost like, I don't know, you have to run in the right circles. You have to know that person for them to divulge the fact that they're interested in anime. It's almost like a secret almost. It's strange.
It's getting more and more out there. So we just added each other on LinkedIn. Like I do anime posts.
I noticed that. Yeah.
But a lot of people have reached out specifically about the anime posts. So I think it's an underground subculture of just like, it's on fringe, but it's coming up. And the reason I like anime is I think of everything as programming. So like the people I'm around, programming the food I eat, programming the social media content I consume, programming the TV shows I consume, programming. And I find anime just to be a much more positive thing. It's like, yeah, these are my friends. We're going on an adventure. We're going to help save someone. We're going to be number one. We're going to save the village versus the garbage that's on TV. So that's why I like anime. I enjoy it. It is what it is.
Yeah. Well, and you make a good point about, essentially protecting your mind and your headspace from all the noise that's out there. You had mentioned a meditation retreat that you had been on recently. How valuable did you find that in your whole mental health aspect and being able to function effectively in this business that you're building?
It's probably been the most valuable thing I personally ever done, both professionally and personally. So I highly recommend everyone do it. It's called Vipassana meditation. So it's the method that the Buddha uses to reach enlightenment. And there's centers all over the world. So mine, like, it was in California. But again, like, there could be one where you're from or where your listeners are from. And the cool thing, it's completely free. You just sign up, the food's taken care of, board is taken care of. You just show up ready to do inner work. So what you do is 10 full days, not counting the day you get there, not counting the day you leave. So it's like it's a thick 10 days of just straight meditation with no looking at anyone, no talking with anyone, no phone. You just have walking, a dining hall, a walking path, your room, and a meditation hall. And so what you do is you scan your body back and forth over and over again. And this extracts the traumas that you've stored in your body in the form of different sensations. So you're attacking the root of the trauma. So yeah, so I had gnarly dreams, plenty of breakthroughs. People cry, people laugh. It's a very intensive spiritual experience. But after this, you're left as a positivity generator because you close the meditation, like you store your energy in your crown chakra. You're wishing everyone peace, love, and happiness. And then if that's the vibration that you're putting out, it's like, I want everyone to be happy. It turns out people want you to be happy. And that's a much better way to live. And to loop this back to the entrepreneurship mindset, because I think it's always the problem I have with spirituality is I think it's been pushed to be just seem like woo. It's like, oh, you guys are hanging out with crystals in the forest or taking shrooms. That's not doing anything. But back in my days at that incubator, so what an incubator is, it's essentially startup school. So like different founders, different desk cubbies, different levels, just working kind of near each other so they can bounce ideas off. The company that was right next to us was Liquid Death Water, and they're doing pretty well. And that was really just to add credibility to what I'm about to say. But like at that point in time, like I said, I was meeting people, going on lunch, going on walks. I've noticed all the most successful people, not just most, but like all of them had a spiritual practice. Like they were all into meditation, they were all into like mindset stuff. And I'm like, because at that point I was in like grind mode, like I'm like working like 16-hour days. It's like, hey, do you want to grab lunch? She's like, no, I have to meditate. What do you mean you have to meditate? You're just gonna sit there and do nothing. It's a waste of time. And so I ignored it for a while, but then eventually the right content started to appear in my Instagram feed, because I curate my content feed too. It's like, because like I try to curate Twitter and Instagram, so I'm not filling my mind with garbage. So like the right content started appearing myself. This meditation retreat got recommended to me, and then it's off to the races since there. So like,
wow.
But yeah, dude, check it out. It's free. It's hard. It's hard though. Like stuff comes up that you haven't thought about in years, and just yeah.
It seems like it would be very deep and transformative. Now, when you're going through this process, do you have somebody that you're listening to that's guiding you through, like how to work this, or is it just here's your room to sit in for an hour and say and do nothing but meditate? Like how does that get facilitated?
So even that is an interesting experience. So you have your room and you have your main meditation hall. So the woman and the men are split up, but everyone meets in the meditation hall. Every day you have your same seat, so you're in the same spot every time.
Okay.
And you have 3 group meditations a day. And so those are strong meditations where you're not supposed to move at all, which is in itself pretty challenging. So the teacher itself, like the way I did is I just joined. I didn't really look into it. I'm like, oh, we'll see how it goes. So I thought I was going to like a cult type thing, but you can leave whenever you want. Yeah, so this teacher is some guy named Goenka. So like the first 3 meditations, you just do your thing. He teaches you the method at first, and you do it for 3 days. He teaches you more advanced method. You do it for 3 days. And then every day you close with a discourse. So it's just a YouTube video of him describing the course. The reason it's a YouTube video, it's because he's been dead for a while. So that was interesting, where it's like, oh, we're getting courses taught by a dead guy. But he's still on point. So he knows exactly what you're going through. And from the entrepreneur's perspective, he was a business magnate in India, like multi-billionaire, where like he had health problems, he had family problems, and meditation solved that for him. So what it is, he's scaled it out impressively throughout the world because he wanted this service to be brought to more people. And the way he scaled it out is really interesting. So each individual facility, like my Joshua Tree facility, it runs completely independent from the other facilities, and it's all donation based. So I donated to the center because it had value. If you wanted to donate, you wouldn't be able to because you didn't attend the course. But once you attend the course and you're a student, you're able to donate. All the food is provided for. All the workers are past people who've done the course. And on top of that, like it's super well organized. So like let's say it's called Dharma service. So that's when you're serving the meditators. So if I were to pick you up like right now, drop you off at the course, but hey, you're doing Dharma service, good luck. It's all like so organized, so well laid out. The notes are all there. You would know exactly what to do. So from a scaling perspective, it's pretty interesting. And the people you meet there are also very varied too. Like I had 3 friends I met there. I had more friends because it's in terms of environment too, it's one of the best places you can meet people. Everyone's just all happy and just like wishing everyone the best. So that's cool. But like my three friends, I had three friends. Like one guy, he travels around Thailand. He loves to climb rocks. That's what he does. He makes 10K a year from odd jobs. That's great. He loved it. Another one, my friend, he runs like this adventure program type thing where he finds clients, he books them their fantastic, like he books them their ideal adventure. Actually, I could work with him on the dating sites. Like, oh, we can use that to help that. And like the third type of guy we met is like ex Facebook, ex LinkedIn, ex all that stuff. And it's just a wide range of people. Like there's a couple army vets who always show up because they could use mental health. But like
Oh yeah.
it's such a diverse thing. But everyone's just, which is why I like the Muay Thai gym so much. Because in Muay Thai gym, like no one cares what you do. Everyone's just equal. Same with the meditation. Everyone's just equal. You're all just there to improve.
Yeah.
Good vibes only.
Yeah, you're right. That is the best environment to meet people in. When you're there for a common purpose, it's all about putting in the work or putting in the time, but it's for a positive outcome. I've attended multiple, personal development things, retreats that have incorporated qigong and meditation, and it's some of the and I just got chills right now thinking about thinking about it. It's a beautiful experience. So yeah, guys, if you're an entrepreneur, obviously you are, if you're listening to this channel, you're struggling, you're not vibing with everything, look into these types of retreats because they are invaluable, absolutely invaluable. And speaking of invaluable, Eric, you've had an amazing journey so far in business and entrepreneurship. You've been exposed to founders, billionaires, just people that are really out there making it happen. What advice would you give to an entrepreneur that is, say, 2 to 5 years into their business and they're looking to like start growing? What would you advise them?
So one thing you touched on, like me, like founders and billionaires, I like to treat everyone equally, and that's a result of positivity for me. Because if you treat someone like a celebrity, they'll treat you like a fan. So if you're meeting like a random founder who's super, well, let's say you meet Elon Musk, you're like, oh my god, it's Elon Musk. Can I have your autograph? You're like, But if you're like, oh, we're equals, we're here, how do I help each other? Then that's a good way to establish a good relationship. So treat Elon the same as a janitor, because in reality they are the same. So that's a good way to network too, and try to help out the janitor, try to help Elon. It's a win-win. In terms of advice on how to scale, it really depends, because it's hard to say just because there's so many different founders doing so many different things. The main thing I would suggest is just go into authenticity. So like you're the number one you in the world. You do what you think is best for the business. I always trust my gut. The reason I trust my gut is because I think what's happening around me is like there's so many things happening. My conscious mind can't perceive all that, but my subconscious can. And I think whatever my gut feeling is, it's just a representation of that. But of course, when you're an entrepreneur, like the name of the game is constant optimization. So try something. If it doesn't work, realize it doesn't work, at why it doesn't work, and quickly pivot and find what it works. Because like you could be trying something, you try 9 things, they don't work. You try the 10th thing that works, like hooray, it worked. And then it's also working. After a couple of days, you're like, oh man. But those are just 10 things it's like 10 things you tried that don't work, so you're just closer to the solution. You just have to keep going. And I follow 2 general rules. It's like, because everyone's creating, whether they know it or not. So just don't harm anyone or don't take anything away from anyone, and you should be good. And you'll be karmically rewarded, because karma's a real thing too, by the way. So don't, if you make money in a bad way, it's just not going to be worth it for you. So don't do that.
Yep, 100%. 100% karma is a real thing. So that's all great advice, and it's very practical. It applies across the board, which is exactly what I was looking for. So thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. And before, we're getting down to the end of the show here. So before we get out of here, I definitely want to have people know, where can they find you? Where can they get in touch with you? Learn more about dating, ShopX? Like, where can we go?
Yeah, so if you're interested in me personally, Instagram is the best bet. So ERACDMCHUGH. The reason Instagram is the best bet, so we can do the voice message, because I like meeting people. It's fun for me. So just shoot me a DM. ShopX, the best place to be our website, shopx.co, or our Twitter, ShopX. That's a good place to go since it's crypto. Dating will be our website, dating.io. But we're also currently going through Apple app approvals. So once the app is actually live around February 14th, if or when that airs, you can just check it out and muck around with it yourself and let us know what you think.
Perfect. Well, yeah, those links will definitely be below, guys. So click down there, check it out. And before we get out of here again, I want to just get completely away from entrepreneurship, and we're just going to have a little bit of fun here right at the end.
And this whole thing has been fun, to be honest. But
well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It has been fun for me as well, and I hope for you guys listening. But I've started doing this, and I think it's really cool. Again, just so we get to know you a little bit deeper, and again, just have some fun here at the end. So, first random question: what is your guilty pleasure?
Sweets, specifically ice cream.
Boom.
I love ice cream.
No hesitation on that one at all.
Yeah.
I feel you. Okay, so ice cream, good. What flavor?
Banana cream pie and Graham Central Station from this particular one called Handel's Ice Cream. So it's not like just like, it's a mom and pop type shop where there's only a couple, and it's in my local area. Yeah, I eat it way too much. I buy in too much. The problem is I buy in too much quantity, so it's always laying around. So I'm always eating ice cream, but because I know how bad sugar is, but I'm like, ice cream.
Yeah. There's some things you make exceptions for. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. And then, what is a bucket list travel spot for you that you have not yet been to?
Oh, Northern Lights. So I've been blessed to travel a bunch of places. So like, I get to go to a conference every 6 months at different locations. So I've done the whole travel goal thing. I've done a lot of major cities, but I've yet to see the actual Northern Lights. So I want to do that with like, like the hotels or like the ceiling is like glass, so you can just sleep. So that's what I specifically want to do.
Yes, I totally agree with that. That I've seen those hotels, those cubes of glass outside. Yeah, fantastic. And then, what is your favorite band?
That's a good question. I don't listen to too much music as of right now, so I mainly listen to binaural beats or anime theme songs on YouTube. But I want to say my favorite band's probably, I have to go back, probably Blink-182, if I had to pick one.
Okay. Yep, I definitely listened to Blink back in the day, the good old pop punk days as that was coming out. Absolutely.
Yeah. Interesting thing about music too is like on a vibrational level, the bass vibration of a lot of music has changed. So classical music has a different vibration than mumble rap right now. And classical inspires creativity. So that's why a lot of the music right now I just don't listen to specifically, because I'm like, the bass frequency of these songs are designed to keep you in a bad headspace. So why'd I program myself that way? So that's why I try to avoid that. And that's why I like anime songs so much, because it's all upbeat, it's all happy. And I go on like adventure mode in my mind. So like, but same with Blink-182. It's like, for me, it brings back the middle school, just like American Pie, back when things were less like sensitive type thing.
Yeah, 100%. Nostalgia is definitely a real thing. I still get caught every once in a while listening to 80s hair metal music, because it takes me back to my early childhood and getting interested in drums. So yeah. I hear you. Well, Eric, this has been a fantastic conversation, man. Again, really can't thank you enough for coming on. Guys, share this show out with your network. There is so much happening in the world of entrepreneurship and tech, and we have scratched the surface of it here. Again, there was things that I didn't even know, so chances are the people in your network need this knowledge of what is coming up to stay on that cutting edge if they're in business just like you are. So share the show out, like it, follow us on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts. And again, Eric, thank you so much for coming on, man. Real pleasure.
No, thank you. This was a blast. I had a great time.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Again, you know what to do, and peace. We'll see you in the next one.